Hello, welcome to RevelationU Reiki and series. My name's Stephanie. During this series, I'll be answering all of your questions about Reiki. What it is, what it's not, how it works, the benefits, what you can expect before, during, and after a session, and much, much more. I'll be releasing one every other week. So if you have questions, please let me know. There's still time. We can get those questions answered for you. So let's start episode 1 with an introduction behind RevelationU and these videos. Me. I'm Stephanie Cunningham, founder of RevelationU Reiki and Wellbeing. I'm originally from Lima, Ohio, and I now live and work right here in Marysville, Ohio, with my son and my partner. While I work with clients all over the country, the majority of my clients are right here in Marysville, which is where we raise our family and do life every single day. My mission, both in life and in work, is to help people better understand who they are and how they work so they can create a life that feels really good to them as an individual, deeply aligned, deeply satisfying. So, how did a corporate gal from the Midwest get into all this woo-woo stuff? Well, we have to back up about, how old am I? 45? I'd say 45 years. See, I've always been intuitive and felt deeply connected with others and the world around me. Ever since I can remember, I felt deeply spiritual, which I define as connection with self, source, and others. I've always felt that deep connection with source, my feelings, the environment, and other people. And I've always been interested in human behavior, psychology, and personal and professional development. My youngest memories are filled with feelings of interconnection, being a part of the world that is so much bigger than what we see, knowing that there's so much more to life, and feeling as if my Catholic faith, my Catholic upbringing, felt a little small and narrow to me at the time. That the reality of the universe was much, much larger than what I was exposed to. I was very sensitive and intuitive, but no one really knew. Like many in the same situation, I kept it hidden, feeling like there was something wrong with me, rather than understanding that I just worked a little bit differently than most. Nevertheless, my way of navigating the world inspired a spiritual awakening at the age of 12, when I came to understand through a sort of knowledge download, if you will, that most of us weren't doing life right, if you will. We weren't experiencing life in alignment with our true nature, that we were kind of living in a state of disconnection that was slowly destroying us from the inside out. I know that sounds kind of intense, especially for a 12-year-old, but actually that realization made so much sense to me. And it unleashed my mission to, in the simplest terms, help people feel better. That's how my adolescent brain understood it. And really today, it's still just that simple. Now, unsure of how this mission, if you will, translated into an actual career, I zeroed in on traditional psychology, inspired by my cousin's boyfriend, who was studying to be a psychologist. So from 7th grade to my freshman year of college, I told everyone who would listen that I was going to be an adolescent psychologist. Boom, done, life planned out. Think that worked out? Yeah, it always does, right? Well, if it does for some, it didn't for me. As I began to study psychology, it just didn't feel right. Something didn't feel right. And the only way I could explain it was that it didn't feel like it went deep enough for me. Now, I'm not saying traditional psychology doesn't go deeper. That's what it felt like for me at the time. It felt more surface-based and more clinical than connecting to me. So I left the program and went to business school. Logical, right? Well, I grew up in a business environment and really enjoyed it and enjoyed learning about it. So it even though it wasn't what I expected to be doing, it felt right and I really enjoyed it. And I thought you can't go wrong with the business degree, right? So we're all good. So at the end of my senior year of college, I read a book that changed everything. It was completely transformative for me. It really connected me back to my inner world and put words to what I was feeling so completely that I was in total shock. And that book was A Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. So that was back in 1999. And that book introduced me to the subject of metaphysics, a branch of philosophy that studies being, knowing, and existence, the depth that I was looking for. This book addressed the concepts of awareness, energy, and interconnection, which again helped me understand what I was experiencing and put words to what I intrinsically knew to be true. And this information was what I had been seeking for the past decade. I could not believe it. So this obviously set me on a path to digging in deeply to metaphysics and spirituality. And this path, I often say this path kind of saved my life, if you will. It helped me understand myself and the world around me on such a deep, healing level. And most importantly, I came to realize that there was nothing wrong with me. I just navigated the world a little differently than most. Understanding that I was a highly sensitive person and an empath cleared up so much for me. And perhaps you can relate. As I began my professional career in the business world, I also continued to study metaphysics, psychology, and similar subjects as I developed my business acumen and my understanding of how we interact and connect with each other on physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels. Then at 24, I heard the term life coach and knew exactly that was the direction that I wanted to go in. Now, this was not a particularly popular career choice in the early 2000s in Columbus, Ohio. Not only was it not popular, it was essentially unheard of. And many in my circle thought my interest in spirituality and metaphysics was, let's say, unconventional. So I tucked that dream in my pocket and set off to learn more about life. I didn't feel like I was ready to be a life coach when I still felt there was so much more to that I had to learn about life in general. So I vowed to use my life as a class, soaking up all the knowledge that I possibly could about all subjects, really, and learning from every single person that I came in contact with. I understood that every situation I found myself in was an invitation for growth, development, and connection. And I knew my vision of helping people better understand themselves and the world around them to create dynamic, connected lives would become a reality. I felt it in my bones. I knew it would happen. And guess what? It did. It did. After 20 years as a devoted student and informal teacher of metaphysics, interpersonal dynamics, spirituality, mindfulness, and meditation, I decided to take the next step. To step into that vision that I'd held for over 2 decades. In 2015, I became a certified professional coach and founded RevelationU. Whew, that was an exciting year. In 2018, I went through my own version of the Great Resignation, a few years before the trend, and left my secure, stable job in marketing and training and development to begin my full-time venture as an entrepreneur. It was just the right time. Well, I will say, at the same time that I was doing that, I was going through a really big transition in my personal life. I was going through a divorce, and I had a young son. The perfect time to seemingly blow up my life, right? Well, it did seem like a crazy time for many, crazy timing for many. It felt like the perfect time to move forward with the dreams I had talked about for so long, to set out on a new path. I spent the summer of 2018 in deep spiritual healing and growth, deep meditation, reflection, developing my intuitive gifts, and really stripping it back to basics. After a deeply powerful and healing Reiki session I experienced in the fall of 2017, I also started my journey as a Reiki practitioner in the spring of 2018 and began taking clients in October of that year. That healing session that I experienced in 2017 was so powerful that I knew I had to offer the same experience, or try to offer that same experience, to other people. It was so incredibly healing and connecting. And a few years later, after continuing to practice, I became a Reiki master. So 2018 was my year to get reacquainted with the Stephanie I had been, had become, and now was. Again, I stripped away everything I thought I was supposed to do, be, and wanted to become the person I was always meant to be, the person I had always been, but the person I had ignored for many years. I gave myself permission to be fully me. I leaned into the things I feared and realized there was nothing to actually fear. As an HSP and empath myself, I'm a seeker focused on personal and spiritual growth, hands down. Much of my life has been spent studying spirituality and personal development and integrating the concepts of law of attraction, awareness, energy management, interconnection, chakra healing, mindfulness, and loving detachment into my own life, which has led to incredible inner and outer transformations. So yeah, this is my jam. This is my life. It's not just my work. I love the work that I do, and I fully believe that it's a calling rather than a career choice. Hence the spiritual awakening at 12, right? So I feel more aligned with offering Reiki, teaching and coaching spiritual concepts than anything I have ever done. I'm known for my non-judgmental listening style and my ability to demystify spiritual concepts by bringing a practical approach to spirituality. Making such a layered topic easier to understand allows more of us to connect with ourselves, others, and the world around us more confidently. Reiki, spirituality, self-awareness, these things have been a gift in my life. And I hope to support you through your wild and wonderful journey to peace, healing, and alignment. So that's me, the person behind RevelationU. That was the short version of events of the last 45 years. And there are many concepts that have been learned, integrated, released, and embedded into me. If you have any questions about me or my journey, please reach out. I'm here to share, teach, and support you on yours as well. So again, if you have any questions about Reiki, this is the Reiki and series. If you have any questions about Reiki that you want to know, please feel free to shoot me an email, comment, however you would like to get a hold of me and ask the question. I'll make sure that I answer it in upcoming videos. So stay tuned for our next episode, episode 2, where we talk about what Reiki is and what it's not. And that's going to be coming out on Monday, January 16th. Until next time, be well.